Hi there, this is Dane and Cindy from Midlife Travel Tales.
Hello everybody.
What's today's video on, Mahe?
So we wanted to share with you a video on safety in South Africa because, well, that's where we live. We live in South Africa. We've lived here all our lives, and that we just thought it would be helpful for foreigners coming to our country just to be aware of certain things.
Yeah, South Africa is the most amazing and beautiful country, but it does have issues with crime and with safety. And our biggest thing is that we want you to come visit, but we don't want you to be in any way unsafe or impacted by crime.
And you know, for especially for Americans and Europeans with the euro and the dollar, South Africa is a really cheap country for you guys to come in and have a holiday.
Yeah, and South Africa has everything. It's got stunning beaches, it's got amazing mountains, it's got deserts, it's got game reserves like you've never seen in your life.
It's got everything.
Everything, yeah.
So this video,
and also the friendliest people on the planet.
Absolutely. So this video is not to scare you, but it's just to make you aware of certain things when you do come to visit South Africa.
Yeah, because we're doing a series of videos on South Africa at the moment, and we just don't want anybody watching those videos and coming to South Africa and being impacted negatively. So we'd rather do a video like this in the middle of it, so you guys know exactly what South Africa is about.
And we've bumped into a lot of tourists where we live, like from Belgium, from Netherlands, and they all rave about South Africa. They say they're having a wonderful time and they love South Africa.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tourists coming here still, and they're all enjoying it.
Yeah. So even this morning I bumped into an American and his Uruguayan girlfriend, and they're just having the most amazing time. So if you're a surfer, you're into birding, you're into nature, you're just into culture, whatever it is, South Africa has everything.
So the first point is when you arrive at the airport in South Africa, try not to engage people, because you're going to have people coming up to you and trying to get you to take their taxi and whatever.
And it happens all around the world.
It does happen around,
but here it could go a little bit worse. Yeah.
So just go straight to where you have ordered an Uber, or if you've got
a hired car,
or whatever you've planned to get transport with in the airport.
But have a plan. Don't just arrive here without a plan.
Yeah.
Have a plan before you arrive here. Yeah.
You don't want to be taken.
Yeah, you don't want to be taken, and it can get a little bit dangerous.
Okay, number 2 is you need to check the areas when you're making bookings. So South Africa's got a lot of different areas, and you need to know where you're going to be staying.
Yes.
So you got to do your research beforehand. Go on Facebook pages. Ask travel agencies. Just know the areas and make sure you're booking in a safe area.
So, because of the history of South Africa, which most people know, I don't need to go into that. There are areas that are more dangerous, areas that are more safer, and when I say dangerous, a lot more dangerous, a lot more safer. So you need to know exactly what you're about. And
Okay, number 3 is your belongings. So you need to make sure that when you're walking around, I wouldn't walk around with diamond rings and Rolex watches and flashing your cell phone around.
You can wear your wedding ring or whatever, but just don't flash anything around.
Yeah, and don't walk around holding your phone at a big crowded area,
Yeah, especially if you're filming stuff and that, just make sure who's around you, because snatch and grab, mugging it can happen. You know?
So
we've never really experienced it, but we know people who have. So
just make sure you're aware of your belongings and where you're at. If you're driving in a car, make sure you put your valuables in the boot of the car and you don't leave them on the seat next to you. Yeah,
so because the guys smash your windows or whatever and they grab. And then also with that, when you go into the shops or your hotel or anything, do not leave your passports, your valuables or anything in the car.
Yeah.
Always have it either in your hotel room or on you. Don't leave it in the car.
And in a hotel, like anywhere in the world, make sure you lock your valuables in the safe when you go out.
Yeah, so... And then when you go and you've got your valuables on you and you've left your car wherever you're going to, make sure, what's it called?
Remote jamming.
Yeah.
We have something called remote jamming, which is...
I haven't really heard about it anywhere else in the world.
No, only in South Africa. So what they'll do is when you use your remote to lock your car, they will jam that so your car actually isn't locked. So you need to actually
physically check
that your car is locked.
Because you go beep and it goes beep, but it's not locked.
Yeah.
So you need to physically check your car is locked.
That's important.
It's a big thing. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So just be always aware of your belongings. That's important.
And did you mention for people to lock their stuff in the safe at the hotel?
Yeah.
Well, even overseas in Thailand, we always did, especially your passports and things like that. Stuff that They
It's
just can't be.
important.
Yeah, they can't be replaced quickly. They can impact your holiday in a really negative way if it disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, other thing is when you're in a restaurant, it's not ideal to just leave your cell phone and your wallet lying on the table in the restaurant.
No.
We don't really normally do that. Don't leave your handbags hanging on.
If you're going to have your handbag, put it on the table.
Yeah.
Don't leave it on hanging over the chair or something like that.
Especially if it's in a big crowded kind of area where you're eating.
Yeah, if it's an enclosed restaurant,
Yeah,
it's fine.
it's fine.
You know, if
Yeah.
no one's,
But
if
not-
it's just
yeah.
a restaurant. But if you're in an open air restaurant or something like that, just be
careful.
just be aware. Yeah.
Number 4 is again probably relevant to most places in the world. Don't walk around in dark, isolated.
Although we
areas.
walked in dark, isolated areas in Thailand and we were pretty safe.
Yeah. In South Africa, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
No, so dark alleyways and there's no one around. Don't walk down there. Go somewhere. Go another different route.
Don't be brave.
Yeah.
Don't be silly. Just don't go. Just don't go. Don't. No. Don't go there.
Number 5 is at night. So also don't walk around at night, especially if you're walking to a restaurant that's quite far away. Rather just get an Uber and go to the restaurant in an Uber than try and walk there.
Especially if you're alone or you're a couple. Just be, if it's a bigger group of people and the restaurant's a few hundred, then it's fine. But when there's too few of you, don't walk too far, and know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, it's not like in Asia we walked everywhere.
Yeah,
and we felt safe.
Yeah.
But here we don't really walk around at night here in South Africa.
No, we kind of walk. If we're in a safe area, we'll walk from a
Where there's a lot of
restaurant
people
to
in
another
there.
restaurant or a pub or something.
Yeah.
We'll do that with friends and that's fine. But just if you're going a bit further, don't walk around.
Number 6 is try and make sure before you go anywhere that you know where you're going. So you have a plan and you have a route that you are going on, and you don't stand on the street corner looking totally lost trying to figure out Google.
Yeah.
Rather have it pre-planned so you know where you're going.
Yeah, just look like you belong a little bit.
And another thing is with your GPS, if you're doing a self-drive, you've got a hired car, the GPS sometimes will take you through areas you don't really want to be going through.
Yeah.
That's just the GPS.
It's a worry about Google. In South Africa, it takes you on the shortest route.
And some of those areas are not great.
If you feel you're driving and the area looks bad,
turn around.
turn around. Don't try and figure it out. Don't ask people for directions.
Yeah, just get out.
Turn the car around and drive out.
And you'll find there are other routes.
There are other routes. There's many other routes, but some of the routes just take you through places that are more unsafe
than anywhere else.
Yeah.
So you've got to just make sure you check that out before you go anywhere.
Yeah.
That you know where you're going. And I think GPS generally takes you on the shortest route,
Yes.
which is not always the safest.
It's not always the safest route. So in South Africa, maybe there's a setting you can do where you can say main roads. If you do that, that's a lot better. Yeah.
Number 7 is if you have to draw cash from an ATM, it's better to draw cash from an ATM that's in a shopping mall rather than an ATM that's just on the street.
Yes.
Where you could eat people, there's people walking around and it's not safe.
As with anywhere in the world, don't let anybody help you.
Don't let anybody help you at the
Do
ATM.
not let anybody help you.
Yeah. and don't walk around with big sums of money. But in South Africa, you don't really need cash.
Yeah, don't go to the ATM and then count your money.
Up where everybody can see.
Yeah. The other thing that's cool about South Africa, though, is that generally credit cards and debit cards you can use anywhere. They use Zappa's readily available. Samsung Pay. So it's pretty much you can get around cashless.
Yeah,
There's only a few things that you need cash for.
We hardly ever use cash.
I haven't seen money in ages. Cindy keeps it all. She doesn't trust me with the money.
No, we'll have no money left. Number 8 is if you're going to do some hiking, because there's some beautiful places to hike around here.
Stunning hikes throughout South Africa.
Don't hike in non-official hiking trails or on non-official hiking trails.
We're in the Cape at the moment, and especially on Table Mountain, and that people hike by themselves. There's been several attacks.
Don't hike on your own.
Don't hike on your own. Hike in a big group. Just be wise.
Yeah, and rather don't hike where it's an official hiking trail where there's security, and you kind of know that it's a safe environment.
You need to realize this in South Africa. Everybody's friendly, but not everybody's your friend. So just be careful. especially young people who make friends and that, and just make sure you're with a group of people, or with a proper hiking guide. Yeah.
Number 9 is if you're driving again, don't engage with people at the traffic lights. You'll find a lot of people will be coming up to you trying to sell things at traffic lights.
Or big.
It's not always safe to open your windows and engage them.
Yeah, in the bigger city, you'll find most traffic lights have a beggar or some people selling stuff.
Nearly every traffic light.
Yeah, every traffic light.
But yeah, it's very sad. It really is. But it's not always safe to open your windows and engage them. There are other ways of helping.
There's much better ways to help people than to put yourself at risk, put yourself in a vulnerable position. The other thing you'll notice through South Africa, just talking about, you'll go to shopping centres or something, and most times there's car guards as well. So that's something we've never encountered anywhere else in the world. There'll be guys there who wearing a brightly coloured bib. They're like a local security guard, and they look after your car and you tip them after you go. So,
So that's fine.
Yeah. So we have a few unique things. Other things are load shedding and things like that, but the load shedding seems to have stopped.
And water shedding.
Water shedding, yeah.
Number 10 is never pick up hitchhikers or stop to help anyone that's on the side of the road.
So there are a few scams running where a lady will pretend that she's got a flat tire, and then the guys will jump out, and when you stop to help, or they'll put debris on the road, try and find a way through the debris.
Yeah. Don't stop. It's not ideal, because they'll actually put stuff on the road to make you stop.
Yeah.
And then they jump out, and it's not.
Don't give anybody a lift. Sadly,
you can't do that in South Africa.
You don't know. Probably 90% of the time you're doing the right thing, but it's the 10% of the time that Cindy and I are kind of warning you about.
Yeah.
It's probably the same in many other countries. But if you have an issue and you don't know what to do about it, rather go to the closest police station, just report it there. Say, this is what's happening by the side of the road. There's a lady broken down there, or there's a car broken down, or whatever. And,
rather than you stop and risk
your life. Yeah.
Number 11 is don't drive at night. I think we have kind of mentioned that.
Yeah, just South Africa, especially if you're going long distance. In the rural areas, you have cows.
and goats and sheep.
So that's the problem in the more rural areas. So that's a whole different problem.
Well, not only, our son hit a cow driving.
Yeah, well, that was in a rural area. So.
Well, I suppose it was.
Yeah. You hit the cow very softly.
But the cow was fine.
The cow was fine. It's cold, not so much. But also the other thing is, if you have a flat tire or anything like that, rather have it during the day than at night. Yeah, and there is things where they put spikes on not like 1 in a million, but just.
So it's just safer not to drive at night.
Yeah, look, we're doing the series of South African travel videos. We want to encourage you to come to our country, but we don't want you coming here because of our videos and something happens to you. So we'd rather
make you aware of it.
Eyes wide open. Forewarned is forearmed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Number 12. Now, this is a couple of tips we want to give you for game viewing, because I think if you come to South Africa, you have to go and visit a game farm.
If you come to South Africa and you don't go to a game farm,
you're crazy.
Can I tell you what? We love traveling, but our nature in South Africa is the most incredible nature.
Really
you sit in your garden, there's tons of birds. We go on walks, there's monkeys, there's little rock dussies. There's nature in South Africa is amazing compared to most other countries I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah. So you've got to go and visit a game park. But the number one rule in a game park is do not get out your car.
Yeah.
Ever.
Whatever you do not get out the car. You won't believe how many foreigners go to a game park and get out the car. For some reason, I don't know what it is. These are not pets.
And do not lean out the car or hang out your sunroof or anything like that.
Just keep your arms in the car, because if the arm's out the car,
it could be taken off.
Yeah. So it's just to be aware that these are wild animals. They are in parks, these huge game parks that you wouldn't even realize you're in a park for a reason.
And you can do a self-drive in the game parks as well.
So Kruger Park is amazing.
Nice.
So we went to Kruger Park for years with our family. Best thing ever.
The other thing is elephants. Elephants can be quite scary.
I
get very, very nervous when I see an elephant on the road or a herd of them.
Just remember, with rhinos and elephants, you stay as far away as you can while still getting your good pictures and that. You don't try and go around them. You wait for them to move off the road. We've been on a game drive where we waited probably an hour for an elephant and a baby to move. They didn't move. We reversed and found another road.
Yeah.
You just don't want to mess
You
with
don't
them.
try and go up to them.
You
and
do
push them
not
out the way.
realize how strong these animals are.
Yeah, we had an encounter once in the game reserve where there was a massive elephant on the road.
And it was coming right towards us, and we couldn't reverse or anything.
And we literally just stopped the car. We sat dead still.
And
We
quiet.
hardly breathed.
Very quiet.
Very quiet. And this massive elephant just walked right past our window, like this close.
In that situation where you can't do anything, you just keep quiet. You don't
you
laugh, you don't cry, you don't scream.
Keep dead still.
You just keep dead still. Well, our son, the one time him and I were driving, and the elephant literally came and put its trunk on the bonnet of the car, and I just said to him, "Don't
do anything."
Because there's just some situations you get into because you're interacting with wild animals, but try not to get into those situations. Rather keep your distance. Yeah.
Absolutely. The other thing is if you're coming to Kruger, if you're coming from the airport, there's two gates that are safer to enter through, and that is the Crocodile Bridge and the Malalan Gate.
And then I think there's Sabi Gate. Is it Sabi Gate? It's a gate further north
up,
as well, yeah.
But the one gate we don't recommend you entering Kruger through is Numbi Gate.
Yeah, don't go through Numbi.
Numbi Gate's been known to have a couple of hassles.
Yeah, there's a few areas you go through, there's protests, and people know that the foreigners coming through that gate, so you become a target.
Yeah, so you don't go through
Yeah.
there. Number 12 is to do with swimming in the beaches, because we've got some absolutely stunning beaches.
Yeah, so the thing in South Africa is waves. So people come here to surf. There's a lot more waves here than the whole of Thailand and everywhere else.
We did Asia last year, and there's
No waves.
No waves.
In Indonesia, there were waves, but here the waves are big, the currents are strong, the seas are powerful. So in South Africa, you find designated swimming areas with lifeguards. You only swim between those in those areas. In KwaZulu-Natal, there's a thing called shark nets that protects the swimmers and bathers from sharks. You only swim where the shark nets are. And surf. If you're coming to surf, there's some amazing surfing areas.
But just stick to the designated areas. Don't go off on your own and start swimming.
Yeah, unless you're a surfer, then you know what you're doing.
Well, even so, you want to be where there's people.
Yeah, you want to be where there are people. Yeah, you don't want to be.
So that's the 12 points we have for you. And
so is South Africa is worth coming to, Mahoney?
Absolutely. You have to come to South Africa.
Can I tell you what? We've traveled the world. So I've done every continent except Antarctica. It's probably one of the most beautiful, diverse countries you will ever find. Culturally and in nature, in the scenery, in sea, mountains, desert, the whole business.
It's got everything.
It has everything. And South Africans are amazingly hospitable people. They are friendly. They're outgoing. We're far more outgoing than Europeans. And British people, we really are. We're very front foot people. We look everybody in the eye. We smile. We want to talk to everybody. South Africans are amazing people. And we encourage you to come to our country, but we also encourage you to be wise.
Just to be safety conscious.
Yeah, safety conscious. This is not Europe. This is not Asia. This is not America.
But you can have a lovely holiday.
Yeah.
You just follow some simple little safety
guidelines.
rules.
Yeah. Well, please remember to like this video, to subscribe. Please press subscribe and to share. And please continue following us and watching all our videos as we travel around South Africa.